How I'm training for my first 100-mile ultra marathon as a total newbie. Today I'm going to take you on this journey as I train for my very first ultra marathon. Yeah, you heard that right. I'm a total newbie, and I'm diving headfirst into the world of running distances that I've never dreamed of running before. If you've ever wondered what it's like to go from, say, a casual runner to an ultra marathon, or even from a weightlifter to an ultra marathon, then you might want to stick around because I'm going to be sharing my training plan, my struggles, and my tips for anyone thinking about taking on a challenge of an ultra marathon. So why an ultra marathon? Well, because it's hard and it's going to suck, and I want to challenge myself. And I don't think I can do it. So that's why I decided to challenge myself and set out to make that a goal and do it and achieve it and accomplish it, because I know it'll be rewarding once I do cross that finish line. I haven't always been a runner. My background, I grew up playing sports, and I've been weightlifting for about 11 years now. So that's kind of my background. But I've never done any long distance running until 2023, about a little less than 2 years ago. I did my very first Ironman. So I'd never done anything like it before. I just set out to do it, and I trained for it, and I liked it. So ever since then, I decided I'm going to challenge myself every year. I'm going to do at least one big obstacle challenge every year. So 2023, I did an Ironman. 2024, I did a bodybuilding show. And then this year, 2025, I'm doing a 100-mile ultra marathon. So the furthest I've ever ran in my life ever is 26.2 miles. I did it a marathon, and I did it in my Ironman. That's the only time I've ever done it. Other than that, the furthest I've ever ran is 18 miles. Even in my training now, 18 miles is the most I've ever done. So 100 miles is a lot longer, and honestly, it kind of scares me. Like I'm never going to run anywhere near 100 miles until that day, until race day. The furthest I'll run in my training is like 30 miles. That's the furthest I'll go. Maybe even 25. It may not even be 30. We'll see. Right now, I have it set out to be 30, but we'll see on that week how I feel. If I'm feeling good, I'll push and get 30. If not, then I'll probably stick around 25. But yeah, never ran anywhere close to 100 miles. No, I'm not doing any build-up races. I'm not doing a 50K. I'm not doing a 50-miler. I'm going big or I'm going home. So I decided I'm going to do a 100-mile. I'm going to do it and get it over with. Because I don't want to do a 50-miler and then decide, oh, man, I could have kept going. I could have did more, So I'm just going to go ahead and do the whole thing. And I may not accomplish it. I may not finish that first time. If I don't, that's okay. But I'm going to finish the 100-mile. Point blank period, I'm going to do it. It may not be April 12th when I'm signed up to do this race. I may have to do it later in the year for another race, but hey, we'll see. That's not the plan. The plan is to do it April 12th. But if something was to happen and I wasn't to finish, then I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna do 100 miles. It may not be that same day, but we're gonna get it done, I promise. All right, so let's talk about how I'm training for this beast of a race. Well, as a newbie, I needed a plan that was going to allow me to build up to those longer distance runs. A plan that was going to allow me to build up my endurance, my cardiovascular health, all that. Because I ran in 2023, but 2024 I didn't do any running. I did a lot of incline walking, and I did a lot of incline walking and walking on the stair stepper, but I didn't do any running. So now I'm running again. So I got to build that endurance back up from square one, from scratch. So I got to have a plan that's going to allow me to do that slowly and progressively in order to do it correctly and not injure myself. So for the way I've set up my training plan for a week in my training plan. So how I created the basis of my training plan is I use an app on my phone. There's an app called Motive, and it looks like it's this little app. And it's this. Well, I use an app on my phone, and it's called Motive. It's this little app right here. So yeah, you click on that. Boom. And it's an algorithm. You put in all your metrics on there, and it creates a training plan for you. So I use this as my basis. I didn't keep it exactly how it told me to do it because I adjusted it to fit my schedule better, but it gives you a pretty good understanding, and it maps out every single workout for you and tells you exactly what to do, how fast to run, how long to run, what to eat before you run. Like it's a great app. I actually made a video about this app, a review. I'll leave it down in the description, or I'll put it up here somewhere, or whatever side it comes on. It's going to be up there somewhere for y'all to click on. There's a video where I did a review talking about that app. But it's a great app. I highly recommend it. And it creates your training plan for you. So the way I have it set up is, now again, remember, I adjusted this a little bit from the app. But this is basically how it laid it out for me. So Monday, We'll start on Monday because I like to start my training weeks on Monday. So Monday is a rest day for endurance training. I forgot to mention, not only am I endurance training 5 to 6 days a week right now, I'm also weight training 3 days a week. So Monday is a rest day for my endurance training because you'll see why in a minute. But Monday I work out. So I do a weight training session on Monday. I'll go ahead and say I lift Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I weight train Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that means Wednesday and Friday are basically 2 days. But Monday is I just weight train. Tuesday, I do kind of an interval workout, more of like a speed training workout. The app actually calls it a intense run. That's what it calls it. That's just like a title. But it's more of like interval workouts, speed workouts, kind of like think of like a track workout. Sometimes we do some elevation training here on Tuesday. So that's my Tuesday run. It's typically about 60 minutes long. It's not too long, but it's also not short. It's not like 30 minutes. That's going to lead us into Wednesday. So Wednesday is a 2-a-day. Actually, I work out on Wednesday. I also run on Wednesday. So running on Wednesday, we call this a fitness run. So basically, it's just a regular like zone 2 easy run, but it's a little bit longer. It has some pretty good distance in there. It's not a long run. It's more of like a medium run on Wednesday. What the heck, bro? Yeah, Wednesday is a fitness run. Zone 2, pretty easy. The thing about ultras is you're not trying to go super fast. There's not a lot of like speed training, interval training in my training. A lot of it's just zone 2 training. So most of my days are regular just zone 2 workouts, zone 2 runs. They're pretty easy for the most part. Some of them are just longer, some of them are shorter. It just depends. But so Tuesday is my interval day. Wednesday is just a fitness run, so a zone 2 run. Thursday, I do what they call a steady run. So it's kind of like in between a fitness run and a zone 2 run, but yeah, it's kind of like in between. So like, for example, today I did a 10 to 20 minute warm up. And then my main set was I did a three miles at my tempo pace. So just whatever your tempo pace is for your, like a race pace, not a zone 2, but a little step up from that, like one step up from that tempo pace. I did 3 miles of that. And then I did a 10 to 20 minute cool down. So for all my warm ups and cool downs, I always do 20 minutes. So for me, this workout was about 60 minutes. So I did 20-minute warm up, 3 miles at tempo pace, 20-minute cool down. So that just gives you an idea of what like my steady run is on on Thursday. That brings us to Friday. So for a while, I was just weight training on Friday. I was taking Friday completely off. I wasn't running at all, just to allow myself to recover a little bit before the weekend. But here just recently, I'm getting closer to race time. So I did add in this extra little run in here, and it's just another fitness run, a very short, easy fitness run, zone 2 run. And this one's normally my shortest run of the week because I don't want to wear myself out too bad for the weekend because the weekend is where my long runs are at. So yeah, fitness run on Fridays. This is normally like my easiest run of the week. It's shorter, zone 2, nothing crazy. Saturday, what? I'm in my office. When I get done recording this video, love you. And that brings us to Saturday. So Saturday is going to be a medium length run for me. And then Sunday is going to be my long run. So now I know a lot of people flip-flop this. Like a lot of people would put their long runs on Saturday and a medium run on Sunday. Well, I thought about doing it that way, and honestly, it really don't matter what way. It's whatever works best for you. The only reason I did it long runs on Sunday is because that's how this app lays it out for you. I don't know why it does it that way, but that's how they want you to do it. So I just stuck with that. Now, if I do another one in the future, I may change it just to play around with it and see what I like better. But I don't mind doing my long runs on Sunday. It's fine. I wake up super early in the morning and do it anyways. So it works for me. And it may not work for you. You may have to swap it around. That's up to you. But yeah, so Saturday, it's just another fitness run, just a zone 2 run, medium distance normally. So like the more you get in your training, the longer to get, obviously. But so for example, Saturday is normally just another zone 2, pretty easy run. And then that that sets us up for Sunday. So Sunday is my long run every week. It's going to be my longest run of the week. Zone 2 run is just very slow, easy pace. You want to be able to talk while you're running, keep your heart rate down. And this gets long. So it started at the beginning of it. It's obviously a lot shorter. And then as you go, it gets longer and longer. Like, for example, my longest one I've done so far is 18 miles. Last week I did 15 miles. So it kind of fluctuates. Every third week, I will do a deload week. So what's a deload week? It's when my overall volume, my overall miles for that week is significantly lower. And this week is to let my body recover, let my body recuperate, and that way I can go even harder the next week. So say I go 12 miles on Sunday, the next Sunday I'll do 15, then the next Sunday I'll do 18, and then I'll have a deload week the next week. So on the next Sunday I may only do like 10 miles or 8 miles, like something a lot lighter. So like one of my longer weeks now is 50 plus miles a week. Well, my deload week may only be like 35 miles a week. So it's going to be a lot less, or 30 miles a week. So it just depends. It changes week by week. But yeah, that's kind of how my weeks are structured right now. And that's how I'm going to stick with it until race day. And this just works for me. I'm not saying you have to follow the same exact days, but you can switch it up depending on your work, depending on your schedule. I know it's going to be different depending on when you work. If you have kids, you have to pick them up from school and things like that. I know how that goes. You have to adjust it to fit your day-to-day schedule. This is just what works for me. And I like it so far. It works for me. The only thing I don't like is Wednesdays are kind of hard for me because I'm trying to fit in a weight training session and a run. So I got to do one in the morning, one in the afternoon. I don't have enough time to do both before work. Friday's kind of the same thing. It just depends. So I kind of swap it up. Sometimes I'll do my run in the mornings and work out in the afternoons. And then sometimes I'll work out in the morning and do my run in the afternoon. So it just depends. So yeah, that's basically how I'm breaking down my training as a newbie. It's working for me so far. I've made a lot of progress on my endurance. Does it work? I don't know yet. I won't know until I get to the race. We'll see. I will say I followed this same app, the same training plan when I did my Ironman, and I crushed my Ironman way better than I thought I was going to do. My goal was 14 hours. I did it in 12 hours. So I beat my goal by 2 hours. So that's pretty good. And I followed this training plan to a T. I followed that app. Now, obviously, it was a little different because I was training for a triathlon, and this is an ultramarathon. So you go from 3 disciplines to 1 discipline. It's a little different, but the app knows what it's doing. It's smart. It works very well, and I trust it. So that's why I'm following it for this ultramarathon as well. It works. So I'm going to follow it. We'll see how it works come April 12th. If it don't work, hey, I may have to do an update video. We'll see. Or if y'all want to update, let me know down in the comments, and I will do an update video after my race on how it worked. But yeah, that's what I'm going to stick to for now. Next one I may switch it up, do my long runs on Saturday or something like that. We'll see. But yeah, so now it's going to bring us to the struggles. So with this training prep, I'm just going to keep it real. It hasn't been all sunshine. It hasn't been all rainbows. There have definitely been days where I've questioned my decision of running this race. Because trust me, there's some days I didn't want to do it. Didn't want to get up early. Like on Sundays, my long runs, I'm running by like 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning because I have to run and get back before church at 9. So I may run 3 or 4 hours before church and then go straight to church. So I question it sometimes. But yeah, there's definitely some long days out there that I'm by myself and I get lonely. It definitely helps if you have a partner to run. It makes the run go a lot quicker because you can talk. But some other struggles I've had is I've been injured. I hurt my left knee, like the tendon that attaches to the back of my left knee. I guess I sprained it or tore it, or I did something to it. I inflamed it. I think I got a little tendonitis. I inflamed it on the back of my knee, and I had to stop for 3 weeks. I couldn't run for 3 weeks to let it fully heal. I didn't want to keep running on it and just make it worse because it wasn't healing. So I literally had to take 3 weeks off of my training without running one bit, and that was miserable. I hated it. I didn't like being able to train. I felt like I was getting set back, like I wasn't going to be able to hit my goal, like I wouldn't be able to run. I thought I may have to quit the race. Luckily, it got back and is back stronger now. It's not 100% now, but it's pretty much like 90% good now. So yeah, that did put me back 3 weeks. And then just recently, about 3 weeks ago, I got the flu. Yeah, it sucked. The flu, it hit me hard. Like I was out for a whole week. I missed a whole week of running and working out that week. And then, so I was sick that 1 week. And then the next week, I thought I was going to come back feeling better because I had been rested and took a week off. But actually, I felt terrible the next week. Like the next week, I wasn't sick anymore. Like I wasn't having sick symptoms. But I could tell like the flu was still taking a toll on my body. Like my body was exhausted. It was tired. It was still repairing itself and recovering. Because like that whole week, I was just tired, drained, had no energy whatsoever. So, but I did work out though. So I only missed 1 week of training, but I basically missed 2 weeks because my training was trash that second week. Like I couldn't really work out that hard. I was barely getting it done, getting by, but I did it. I made myself do it. But then after that, I picked it back up. Like the next week, I felt good. Again, my body finally recovered. So I was good then. But so yeah, I've had some setbacks during this prep for sure. And that's because I'm new. I definitely think my knee was an overuse injury. I was definitely overdoing it. I didn't build up properly. So that's why you got to trust your training plan. You can't just get out there and just start running and think it's going to work. You got to build up your endurance, build up your body and your muscles to be able to withstand all the stress that you're putting on it. And you got to be able to grow those muscles. That's why it takes a long time to build endurance. So yeah, I definitely had that. And then the flu, I mean, that's just going to happen. That's just life. But yeah, it hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows. And that's probably going to happen to you too when you do yours. So try to do it as smart as you can so you don't get injured. But life's going to happen. Things are going to be thrown your way. You just got to be able to pivot, move, and learn from it and keep going. That's all I've done. I'm now over a month behind on my training plan because of my injury and getting sick. But hey, that's not going to stop me. I'm still going to do it. And hopefully we can get it done come April 12th. So yeah, if I had to give you some tips for all the newbies, if you're thinking about doing one, if you're like me, my tips that I have, my super, super early tips that I have for you, because I hadn't done the race yet. Number one is just start slow. Build your mileage gradually so you can avoid injury. A lot of people always use the rule of don't increase your miles by more than 10% every week. And I know that's a generic rule. Some people believe in it, some people don't. But I think it's a good generic rule to follow. And that way you don't build up your mileage too fast. And it's help keep you from getting injured. So that's number one. Number two is invest in good gear, especially shoes. Running shoes make a world of a difference when it comes to running a lot of miles. And this is something that I learned during my Ironman. I learned it very quick because when I did my Ironman, I was running in some trainers, some workout gym trainers. And I was running for a while on that. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to do this Ironman, I need to get serious about it. So I went to a running store and I bought some running shoes. And man, dude, it was like I was running on clouds when I put them shoes. I got some Brooks glycerin shoes, like the max support ones. Man, they made a world of a difference. It was night and day difference when I got some real running shoes. So if you're going to do something, if you're going to commit to something this big, you're going to be putting this many miles in each week, I would definitely get you some good running shoes. I mean, yeah, they're expensive. I will give you that. You're going to spend at least $170 probably on a pair of shoes, 150 probably. Some of them even get up to $200. So you're going to spend some money, but it's worth it. It'll help. Not only helps you run, but it helps you stay injury free because they're supporting your feet better. And it'll make a difference, I promise. Also, when it comes to ultramarathon, you're gonna need a hydration pack. You're gonna need one of the little running vests. So I got one of those as well. I've been running with it, practicing with it to get used to it. You're gonna need one of those, and you're just gonna need some comfortable running clothes. You're gonna be running for a long time, so you gotta make sure you're not chafing. You may need to get you some chafe cream, or I forget what they call it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The Body Glide, that's what they call it. Man, you get you some Body Glide, get you some comfortable clothes when you're running so you can be as comfortable as possible while you're out there. You're going to be out there for a long time. Number 3 is practice fueling. Practice fueling now. You're going to need to eat while you do this race because it's a long race. You're going to need to be able to fuel your body. And you got to figure out what your body can withstand, what your body can digest while you're running. So you need to start practicing that now. Start practicing with some different foods. What I would suggest is look up your race and look up your race packet, the one you're going to do. Look up the race information to find out what gels, what food they're going to have on the race, on the course, because they'll have an aid station. So figure out what they're going to be giving away. And I would start experimenting with some of those foods and figure out what sits on your stomach well, because they're going to be giving those foods out at the race for free. Not for free, you pay for it, but at the aid stations, they're going to be giving it out. So I would start practicing with those foods specifically because that's what they're going to have at your race. So that's what I would do. And start practicing this now so you can get your body used to it. Because I ain't gonna lie, eating while you're running, it's a little different if you're not used to it. It don't really bother me. But some people, if you don't have a strong stomach, if you have a weak stomach or things just don't sit well in your stomach, this could be a problem for you. So I would go ahead and practice it now before you get to the race, because you don't want to get to the race and it tear your stomach up and you got to go to the bathroom, or you start throwing stuff up. You don't want that to happen. So figure out your nutrition now while you're running. Number 4, this is join a community. Join a run group, join a gym or whatever, or just find you a buddy to run with. This is what I've been doing, and it works great for me. I have a friend that I do a lot of my training with. He also has done Ironman, and we run a lot on Sundays, specifically on our long runs. And it makes your run go by so much faster. Just trust me. You can sit there and talk, and y'all waste time, and before you know it, you'll be ran 2 miles, and you didn't even realize it because you're just sitting there talking, chatting, and it makes it a lot easier. It makes time go by a lot faster. It makes it more enjoyable. So I'd highly recommend Get you somebody to run with you, or if you don't, maybe there's like a run club near you or something like that that you can just be a part of. And also it'll help you hold you accountable too. So y'all can plan to run together and y'all can hold each other accountable, and that works well too. So that's number 4. Get you a good workout partner. And number 5, just be patient with yourself. It's gonna take time. You don't want to rush it. You're probably gonna have bad days, and it's okay to have those bad days. But you can't let one or 2 bad days ruin your whole training plan, your whole goal. Like, you just got to keep going and push past it. Because when you cross that finish line, it's going to be so worth it. You're going to be so proud of yourself that you did it and you put in the time and effort, and it's just going to be a good day. So be patient with yourself. So one thing that I didn't realize about training for an ultramarathon when I first set out to do it is the mental side of things. So obviously I knew it was going to be very physically challenging, but I quickly realized it's very mentally challenging as well, because it's not about just like your physical endurance. It's also about like staying positive during your running. It's about pushing through the discomfort, because you're gonna probably feel some pain. It's gonna get uncomfortable sooner or later. So you gotta learn how to push through that. And that's just a mental thing. You can push through. You can push a lot harder than you realize, and you can keep going. Your body's gonna want to shut down way before you actually need to shut down. And just remind yourself why you started. Like, why are you doing it? What's your reasoning? Is there a purpose you're doing it? Is there whatever? A lot of people do it for different reasons. For me, I want to challenge myself and see what I'm capable of. So I just got to remind myself of that. And this is going to help me stay motivated and keep pushing through. Honestly, some days the only thing that keeps me going is just the thought of crossing that finish line. Because I know once I cross that finish line, I'm going to be so proud of myself. And it's going to be so worth it. So sometimes that's all that keeps me going. You just got to figure out what works for you, what keeps you motivated, and lean on that to keep you going. So that's where I'm at with my ultramarathon training journey. It's challenging, it's rewarding, and it's definitely taught me a lot about myself, for sure. If you've ever thought about taking on an ultra, I say go for it. Do it. It's going to be worth it. Even if you don't complete it, I think it'd be worth it, because it challenges yourself, push yourself. It's going to teach you things about yourself that you didn't know. And you're going to be proud of yourself either way. So I say go for it. But be smart about it. Don't injure yourself doing it. Be smart about it. Give yourself enough time to train for it properly. Don't just sign up for one and go do it one day. Like, you need to train for it. It's going to take time. And if you're already a seasoned runner or ultra marathon racer, go ahead, drop a comment down below and let me know your best tips. I need some tips. I need anything that I can get to help me. I'm going to need it. So y'all let me know down in the comments what I should or shouldn't do during my race. Or if you got any good tips, let me know. So thank y'all so much for watching the video. Go ahead, drop me a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. We will see y'all out on the race course. Peace, love, protein. We out.